You are welcome to yet another episode of LFN What's Your Say? The leading listening show where we discuss important issues with important people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In 2022, the R&B music legend and the man behind some of the most timeless hits R. Kelly was sentenced under the RICO Act, a law originally designed to take down mafia kingpins, organized crime bosses and drug cartels. But was this an abuse of power? Was the law stretched far beyond its intended purpose to target an individual who, like all of us, is entitled to fair treatment under the law? To understand the absurdity of R. Kelly's RICO charges, let's break it down. Imagine this: you're the President of the United States of America. A congressman in your party commits a crime, maybe fraud, or maybe bribery. That congressman acted independently outside your knowledge or involvement. Would it make sense for you to be charged as part of a criminal enterprise simply because you're both part of the same political organization? Of course not. Or even if you were not charged, would it render your political party or government a RICO enterprise simply because the congressman who committed the crime was using your government's resources and infrastructure, or that this congressman was making trips arranged by your political party and at this trips he did pay a number of bribes? Again, of course not. Yet this is precisely the kind of reasoning that has been applied to R. Kelly under the RICO Act. According to Judge Ann Donnelly's interpretation of the RICO legislation, if your staff are responsible for packing your bags, arranging your flights, they should know whether you will be engaging in bribery over the various meetings you will be having in your destination cities. And whether they knew this or not, if you ended up committing those crimes, the staff who packed your bags become a part of a criminal enterprise rooted in crime. This is worse than what a grade 7's interpretation of the law will likely be. The RICO Act, which is a short form for the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, was created in 1970 to target organized crime syndicates. Think of The Godfather, Goodfellas, Al Capone, or the Gambino crime family. The purpose of the law was to go after criminal masterminds who orchestrated illegal activities by delegating tasks to others while they remained at the top of criminal pyramids. But in R. Kelly's case, the RICO statute was misused to rebrand his personal and professional relationships as a criminal enterprise. This allowed prosecutors to bundle allegations together, many of which were decades old, unproven and at times questionable, into one sweeping charge. And when you're fighting the full weight of the entire federal government, the cards are already stacked against you. Here's where the comparison to the president comes in. The prosecution argued that R. Kelly's music career, his concerts, his entourage, and even his friends constituted a criminal organization. We are not saying this was the case, but considering Judge Ann Donnelly's interpretation of RICO, if, say, someone in R. Kelly's orbit committed a crime, it was going to be automatically used to implicate him as the orchestrator. It's no different from blaming a CEO because one rogue employee committed theft, or holding a president accountable for every mistake made by their political party. And this also works the other way around. The political party would also be held accountable as a criminal enterprise if the president committed a crime on his own simply because his bags are packed and flights booked by the party staff. Now this is insane. RICO is a powerful tool, almost too powerful. It lowers the standard of proof for prosecutors. Instead of proving individual crimes beyond a reasonable doubt, they can weave a narrative that paints a person as the head of a conspiracy, whether that's true or not.
Second, to use the power of his business enterprise and many of his inner circle employees to assist him and enable him in his plan and his scheme.
This is dangerous to the justice system. It's a slippery slope. And it's a tactic that was never meant to be applied to entertainers, artists, or individuals like R. Kelly. And that is the problem of allowing illegal tactics into law simply because Congress is targeting a particular group, forgetting that the very laws may eventually be used against the same government and innocent people as tactics to bring them down. In fact, with Donnelly's interpretation, an entire government or corporation doing legitimate business as usual can be taken down like a storm. This is definitely not what the enactors had envisaged. Let's ask ourselves, was R. Kelly's music career an organized crime syndicate? Were his concerts and tours activities of a criminal enterprise? Or were they what they actually are, a global superstar living the life of an entertainer surrounded by teams of managers, assistants and fans? To claim otherwise is to weaponize the law. It's to twist a tool designed for mobsters into a hammer to crush individuals who, like all of us, deserve justice. This isn't just about R. Kelly. This sets a dangerous precedent for anyone in the public eye. If prosecutors can take a superstar's career, one built on music, performance, and entertainment, and rebrand it as a criminal enterprise, then who's next? Any artist with an entourage, any celebrity whose team member makes a bad decision. Think about the implications. If R. Kelly's career was a criminal enterprise, then what stops the government from targeting any public figure with a similar narrative? This case wasn't about justice. In fact, it was about spectacle and viewpoint. Prosecutors bundled every accusation they could find, new or old, into a RICO charge because they knew that the law's broad and ambiguous scope would make it easier to secure a conviction. This isn't fairness. This isn't justice. It's exploitation of the legal system to make an example out of a man who, despite his faults, deserved a fair trial. Our legal system is built on the presumption of innocence, and the idea that the burden of proof lies with the prosecution. But under RICO, that line gets blurred. It allows the government to punish individuals not for proven crimes, but for perceived patterns and associations. Ask yourself, if R. Kelly committed crimes, why wasn't he simply charged for those individual acts? Why was the RICO statute necessary at all? The answer is clear. Prosecutors wanted an easier route to conviction. The abuse of RICO should concern all of us. It's a law that's too broad, too powerful, and yet too prone to misuse. If it can be used against R. Kelly, it can be used against anyone. R. Kelly's story is in fact complex. Like all human beings, he has made mistakes. But that doesn't mean the law should be manipulated to ensure a RICO conviction. It doesn't mean that the government should bend the rules to paint him as the leader of a criminal enterprise simply because of who he is and the people who surrounded him. The misuse of RICO in R. Kelly's case isn't just about him, but also about the integrity of our justice system. It's about ensuring that every individual, no matter who they are, is treated fairly under the law. If we allow the government to weaponize the law against entertainers, public figures, or anyone they target, then we've already lost the very principles of justice that this country was built on. R. Kelly deserved better. Justice deserves better. And so do we. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sasha@lfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon, and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.